What's going on, guys? King Strats here, back another video on the channel. And today, as you can see, we take leftovers and we make miracles with them. So we had that brisket from yesterday, and you already saw it was a real quick recipe. We just took that leftover brisket, that leftover barbecue sauce. We had some pizza crust, made ourselves a nice barbecue brisket pizza. It smells so good, and I know the brisket's already fire because I had it yesterday. So I'm just gonna dig into this. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I just want to eat this and chilling vibe. Come here. Yes, sir. I don't know what. Do you like the end pieces or like, I like the middle end. But here we go. A little thin crust. Got that barbecue brisket, that barbecue sauce, sweet and spicy going on. And a little secret. I wasn't going to tell you this, but I add a little bit of that truffle oil because it just makes everything better. Oh, it's so hot. Jeez. I need more of this brisket. I don't think I'm gonna start doing. Let me know if this is W or L. Give me a second. Oh, that sweet and spicy barbecue sauce on here. A little bit of that crust. Give me a second. I swear I didn't lose my train of thought this time. I know I always do. Since travel is a little tough right now, right? And I've been doing the highest rated stuff in my area. But that was one of the first times I got to try the highest rated in other areas. And I really enjoyed it. You know, Texas is famous for its brisket, for its barbecue. So what do you think if we kind of take this on like a little bit of a tour and we go highest rated, but like different places in the country? I'll do more stuff with like the Gold Belly or get more deliveries and do stuff like that. Kind of get to sample some stuff. I honestly don't really care if you say no because I still want to do it. But let me know if it's a WL idea. You know, I always like you guys' feedback, even if I'm just saying that. I still like to know what you guys do. Like the highest rated stuff around me, it's hard to find certain stuff. So I got to try some Texas brisket, and I was just like, W. If you haven't seen that video, it's the one right before this. And I tried the brisket, made a couple of sandwiches with mac and cheese. Now we put on some W pizza. Boy. I was actually surprised to find out from you guys, comments on here, comments on Instagram, comments on TikTok. People are starting to comment, which is like weird because, you know, I don't really TikTok, but a lot of you guys have had Snow's barbecue and we're like, yeah, it is really good. I'm gonna agree with y'all. So I want to try some stuff from all around the country. Let me know if you have some suggestions, different stuff, maybe where you're from, what you're popular, what you're famous from. I have to say that unless I find some international stuff, it's going to have to be limited to the US right now. But if you have some stuff around you that's known for, maybe it's on Gold Belly, maybe they do deliver, and I can get it sent to my front door, let me know. Just been brainstorming a little bit. Because I'm not gonna lie, I gave away some of the brisket. You know, my dad texted me as he always does. He's like, yo, do you have brisket? I'm like, yeah, there's still half left, bro. But I saved enough so I can make me a little pizza. Normally I do takeout on Sundays, but it would just be a shame to let this beautiful piece of meat go to waste. Sounds sus. And also, I wasn't going to share this with you because, well, it's popcorn. And no one really cares about popcorn, but I love popcorn. And what these are actually, there was like a soccer team, youth soccer team that was doing like, you know, a fundraiser so they can obviously like do stuff for, you know, the uniforms. And I always try to do stuff if people come and ask me. I'm just like, all right, fine. Like, you know, it's hard for me to say no because I played sports, and even if it isn't sports related. Anyway, this popcorn, I don't even want to say this. It was like $20 for like one of these. And I was just like, nice hustle, kid. But anyway, I did it. And this was maybe a month or two ago, so I forgot about it. But it came in today, and I just wanted to try a little bit. And I did this off camera, so you can see it's already been eaten some. And I was like, yo, this is actually fire. Like, it was really good. So I'm gonna show y'all this. They do have a website. Forgot where it is. But the brand is called Double Good. And they had 2 flavors I did. I like spicy stuff, so I went with, show y'all one more time. It says jalapeno, but it's witty, like jala. Oh, God. But it's jalapeno flavored, as well as we got some Double Good in queso fire. So this is like a spicy cheese one. It isn't the spiciest, but it's kind of spicy. The brand is Double Good, like I said. They come from Illinois, and the website is actually doublegood.com. I'll forget that. I always forget to leave links, but it's doublegood.com. It's literally, that's what it is. And I'm not gonna lie, like, peep this popcorn, bro. Like, do you see how coated it is? Normally when you get like these cheesy popcorns, they're like falling off all over the side. But this, when I took a bite of it, again, I was not gonna share this. Like, peep it. When I took a bite of this, I was like, yo, this is some good ass popcorn. It really is. A little bit of spice to it, very cheesy, and a little goes a long way. It's really good. I don't know if this was necessarily because of the fundraiser that it cost that much. Like, I don't think there's a popcorn in the world worth $20 unless, like, Orville Redenbacher's cousin comes to my house and makes me it. But, nonetheless, super good. I was shocked at how good it was. So, I wanted to eat more. Therefore, I wanted to show it to you so that I could be fat and eat it on camera. And this one is the queso fire. The flavor profiles are very similar. This one's a little bit more like a spicy cheese, and this one has like a little more of a jalapeno kick. It doesn't matter, but man, it's good. This is the kind you need a girlfriend so you can sneak into the movie theater that had a popcorn in the purse. It's one of these. W popcorn. Better than the movie stuff. Not like greasy or anything. Speaking of movies, is anybody a fan of the Saw franchise? Because there's like a spin-off of Saw. It's in the same universe. It's called Spiral. And Chris Rock. Yeah, like, Chris Rock did it. And I really want to see it. I know people like think... I'm a huge Saw fan. Like, I've watched every single one probably a billion times. The only issue that I'm having is that Saw, this one specifically, is in theaters only. I know we're starting to get back to normal, but I don't really want to go to the movie theater. I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, and movie theaters are kind of like, for me, I don't go to the movies unless it's something like I think the last thing I saw in the movie theater was Star Wars. Whatever Star Wars was the last one. It has to be something that I can't wait on. So, last year, most of the movies were being released virtually, streaming. HBO did some, Netflix. You could buy them on demand, which I kind of enjoyed because I don't like going to the movies. But I'm debating whether or not I'm going to go. Jeez. Look how juicy that brisket is, man. Look at that. Yeesh. And I just don't know if I want to, like, do it. I prefer enjoying movies, like, in the privacy of my own home or with as little people as possible. Most of the theaters around me, and I would think, in general, there's too many... I'm old. There's too many younger people there. And I did the same thing when I was younger and went to movies. Like, I was obnoxiously loud at times. You know, I'm with my friends, so we're talking. And I didn't do this, but a lot of other people would, like, throw stuff. Like, the last time I went to the movies, it was to see The Last Skywalker. It was Star Wars. And those are usually pretty chill. Because if you go to Star Wars movies, 9 times out of 10, you're a nerd like me. And you really care. So you're like... But I remember going to see, I think it was The Purge, which I'll get to in a second. And there were like so many younger people there. And not all younger people are like that, but there always are going to be some. Every crew when you're young has a friend that just does like crazy stuff. And there was a kid like throwing popcorn. Now he was like 2 seats in front of me. So he didn't throw it at me, but I saw he was doing it. I was getting triggered. I didn't want to say anything because, you know, I try to avoid confrontation because I've been in way too many fights as it is. I'm not about to fight somebody that's like 10, 15 years younger than me. But it was just annoying and it ruined the experience. So when a lot of movies came out last year, you got to watch them in the house and it was like, I'm either by myself, maybe with like a friend or two. Just so much more enjoyable. Obviously, like, you don't have to worry about getting dressed or anything. And I just preferred it. Obviously, the situation that caused this, I didn't prefer. So I'm not saying I like last year was good because it wasn't. But this one isn't available to stream. So I'm like right now. I was on Friday looking at the tickets and I'm like, and I didn't do it. But now I really kind of want to. And there's just 2 other movies, and I'm sure you've probably seen the previews because they're all over the internet right now. And I'm a huge fan of both of these movies. First one I just referenced is The Purge. I've seen all of them. It was weird thing. A tradition for me. When Saw first came out, they would come out every year on Halloween. When the first Saw came out, I was in grad school, and I lived across the street from a movie theater, so I walked over there and saw it. Every time a Saw came out after that was on Halloween, for like the first maybe 5, so I would always go on Halloween when it first came out, and it was awesome, like a tradition. After that, The Purge would come out on the 4th of July. And I would go watch The Purge on the 4th of July. Now this one again comes out on the 4th of July. I believe this is now the 4th, right? No. Okay, there was original Purge, took place in a house. There was the second one, which was Anarchy, that took place throughout town. There was the third one, Election Night, I believe it was called, which also took place throughout the town, but like went deeper into it. And then there was the first Purge, which was a prequel, but it was the 4th one. So there's the 5th one. And I believe it's called, like the Forever Purge, which is like a purge that goes on after the purge ends. You don't know the premise of the purge. I mean, I'm pretty sure that everyone does, but briefly, it's like in the distant future, or at this point, not so distant, where like for one night, mostly everything is legal, which includes like all the stuff you would think of. I think you just can't use like large devices. I'm trying to keep it clean, but you get what I'm saying. And you couldn't get to like high level people in the country. Like it was like a level 10 or something like that, except for in the last one, which they suspended that as well. But it was just like I don't know. I like weird movies. I'm a huge fan of that. That comes out on the 4th of July, which at this point it's mid-May, so it's almost June. I want to see that too. And then there's another movie, which is A Quiet Place. It's the sequel. And I love that movie too. It was about like these like creatures, I'm guessing from another planet. They didn't really get into it. They only started to find out about them towards the end of the first one, but they were attracted to noise. So if you made noise, like they'd come and, you know, make you not hear anymore. What? And I really liked the premise of it because it made the movie much more tense because there wasn't a lot of noise. it just made it scarier in a sense. And I'm not like a scary movie person, but it made it like the tension. Like with you, I went to the movie to see A Quiet Place too, and nobody talked. You could hear a pin drop because it was so like, I love that kind of stuff. For me, now not every movie, but what makes a great movie is one that can kind of get something out of you, whether that's tension, some fear, emotion. Some movies can make you angry. Some movies can make you sad. Not me, but you know, like some movies make people sad. And that movie just, it was so like taut, like so like the entire time. You really didn't know what was gonna happen, and you could just hear people like breathing and trying not to step on things that made noise, and it was just really well done. So this one's a sequel. I don't want to spoil it if anybody hasn't seen the first one. If you haven't, watch it. But I love movies, so I want to see that like pretty bad. But I didn't want to go to the movies. That's the whole premise. I just was going in on about movies. And one of my favorite movies ever is actually Forrest Gump. If you haven't seen Forrest Gump, I don't know why you haven't. But it's just phenomenal, like a great movie. And what I was saying about movies invoking something from you, the reason why I liked it so much is I have like grease from like a brisket on my nose. I can see it. That's what happens when you have a big nose, you see everything. That movie just it invoked so much different emotions from you. From when he was a kid, and he did so much with his life that this is so good. Holy, like that smoky flavor, wow. I just think the whole point of the movie was someone who was considered like dumb, for lack of better words. You know, he took an IQ test when he was a kid, and he was considered like wasn't gonna really be anything. Was considered a simple person, you know, quote unquote, simple. And he lived this amazing life through all of these historical events that he was a part of. And it's just so awesome to see. I think the whole point of it was that, like, his simpleness made his life so amazing because he'd never really did things for the moment. He just did them because it seemed like what he was supposed to do at the time. You know? He had braces on his legs when he was a kid. He wasn't considered to do anything. People made fun of him, threw rocks at him. So because he ran away from them because his, you know, little girlfriend, Jenny, they didn't realize how fast he was until his braces came off. Ends up being an All-American running back at Alabama for Bear Bryant. Meets the president. I believe he meant John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, and Nixon. He showed Lyndon B. Johnson his butt because he got he took one you know, he was in Vietnam. He, you know, got a Purple Heart, a Congressional Medal of Honor. Didn't really realize why. He just was running. Becomes a millionaire because he invests in Apple because his best friend / business partner told him to, and he thought it was a fruit company. You know what I mean? Just think about all this stuff. He becomes a Fortune 500 Forbes on the cover of Forbes because he owns a shrimp company because his friend Bubba in the army loved shrimp, and he said that he would do it because of Bubba. And all this other stuff. It makes you laugh at a lot of parts, you know. It makes you upset at the way he's treated by people. I mean, it can make you cry. I didn't, but I can understand why people would. You know, there's like a love story throughout if you like that kind of stuff. There's just so many different things that makes the movie good. And also, because I'm a big history person, man, this is good. It's set throughout all these historical events that are kind of cool to see. And it also has a soundtrack that like spans like 4 decades. So there's all these like nostalgic like songs, like, you know, Jimi Hendrix and things like the Beatles are in it, John Lennon, like, you know, it's just such a great movie. So that's like one of my, I can't say my favorite movie of all time, but that's definitely like one that immediately comes to mind because it has everything. You know, I'm more of a horror movie guy for the most part. And I like watching like TV series. I just finished Game of Thrones for like the 5th time. I think I'm gonna watch it again because I like the first like 5 seasons. But all that stuff I watch on my iPad while I'm cooking, or editing videos, or sometimes working out. I can't do that in the movies. I feel like I'm wasting, it's a weird thing. When I watch movies, I'm usually doing other stuff. Oh. And I'm the type of person that it's hard for me to just stop and do like one thing. I'm usually doing several. When I'm recording like these, it's one of the few times that I don't stop and do anything. Because I can't. But before I did this, when I ate, was the time that I watched television. You know, it was my time to unwind. And I can't get over how good this brisket is on this pizza. Now that I'm doing this, not cutting to myself, I'm not complaining, I enjoy these, but so now like when I'm cooking, I'm always doing stuff, editing. Or things like that. I watch movies. And a few times that I get to game, I do still game, but I don't game much anymore. I don't have time. There's usually a movie on in the background, or a TV show. Should I go to the movies? I don't want to go. You know, I know that in public still, certain places are still requiring, I mean, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to. But even in certain places like the movie theaters, it says right on the app that even if you are, you still have to wear, you know, a face covering. And again, this isn't like a complaint because I think there's bigger things in the world to complain about. But I don't know if I can enjoy a movie while I like, you know, I want to eat popcorn and stuff. Like, am I supposed to like, that kind of thing? And then the last part of me saying before, I am a bit of a germaphobe, which is, for me, like this whole thing last year and people like always washing their hands and talking about, you know, it was a big thing, narrative that they pushed, you know, the hand sanitizer, washing your hands. I was doing that anyway. You know, I've worked in gyms and fitness centers. I mean, I've had my own facility for the last like year, but even when I was working in gyms or I had my business in gyms, gyms are gross. So I always wash my hands. And please, forget the reasons why. If you're a person who attends fitness facilities, wash your hands. How many people might gross you out? I don't care. Y'all need to hear this. You get like 5 pieces of popcorn. It's a nice, like the cheesy touch with the cheese. Remember people I've seen in gyms over the years go to the bathroom and they don't wash their hands and they come right out there and they touch the dumbbell? It's scary. Like, a lot of people. And I'm that dude that, I got pink lemonade today, by the way. I'm that dude that, you know, I'm not like rude to people, but I'll kind of like make a little comment. I'm passive aggressive when it comes to places like that. Obviously in the gym I'm working, it's a little different. So if I see somebody that doesn't wash their hands, like I will like obnoxiously go wash my hands while I see them about to walk out. Or I'll be like, "You really not gonna wash your hands?" I'm like, Like, I'll just say something, because a lot of people think nobody's watching. Like, I'm looking at you, pal. I'll be watching. I just don't get it. How you go to the bathroom and not wash your hands, like, in a public, I don't know. I don't like public bathrooms anyway. Like, I really don't. They gross me out. Ladies, I don't know what happens in the women's bathrooms. I haven't the slightest clue. But I can tell you in the men's bathroom, I don't know what these dudes be doing. And how there is, like, urine on floors. What are you, like, what are you aiming at? Like, what are you aiming at? It's a urinal. Like, stand in it. Like, why? Like, I feel like people just walk in and, like, and I know people are like, oh, maybe it's children. Maybe. But the urinals in most men's bathrooms, they got the little one, and then they got the big one. If you're big enough to stand that big one, and it be on the floor, I don't know what you're doing. I really don't. I just don't get it. Now, I've heard stories from women about how, like, disgusting the women's bathrooms are, which is crazy. Because I don't know how y'all miss the toilet. I get that a lot of you don't, like, sit on it, but it's not a small hole. Now, one more thing before I go, and this is a question for, like, mostly, like, for the women, most part. This is serious, because this one always baffled me. Why do you get mad when men leave the toilet seat up? Do you actually fall into the toilet? Because if you do, how? I sit on toilets too. Like, I live alone, so my seat is 9 times out of 10 is up. But if I have to sit on it, one of the first things that I do, I put it down. How are you judging? Like, how? It always baffled me. Y'all just be like that. Oh, hey. I'm like, check. It's like, check. Don't get mad at me, okay? I just don't get it. Popcorn control. I don't get it. No, have you fallen in the toilet? That's gotta be embarrassing, though. I don't care if nobody's there. You sit down and you just right in there. Because for me, one of the first things I do before I sit down is you check. And then you put it down. I don't know. And don't give me that I'm half asleep stuff. I've taken half asleep dumps, okay? I still ain't fallen in yet. 30 years. Not once have I fallen in the toilet. How many dumps I've taken in 30 years? A lot. A lot of dumps. Not yet. I'm sorry, I just had to ask. Somebody gonna answer me if you got this far. Anyway, brisket pizza was a dub. That's a dub. Tomorrow, I will not be in the kitchen, which is actually why I flip-flop these. Because I do have to get some takeout. There's a new menu item that I got wind of. Actually 2, so there'll be 2 this week. I do know that. Tomorrow I know exactly what I'm getting because it's already planned. You know, I got the email, the heads up. So again, thank you guys who give me heads ups and stuff like that. It does really, really help. But anyway, it is 4 a.m. And I gotta edit this video before I go to bed and start my week off like it always is. I love y'all. We'll be back. Not in the kitchen, we'll be back with content. I love y'all. The hand signs. They made it to YouTube.